And I'm here with Colin of Grayscale at Warped Tour. We've talked before. I'm trying to think if it was last year or the year before.
I think it.
Help jog my memory.
I think it was. We've only been touring for about a year, so it's probably.
APMAs maybe.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we were there. Very cool.
I was like, I have semi-decent memory. So what has gone on for Grayscale since last summer?
Oh man, a lot. I mean, we've done what 2 additional U.S. tours. We went to the U.K. for the band As It Is, their headliner. We played Slam Dunk in the U.K. and now we're doing Warped Tour. So it's been busy. Yeah.
How has the band's sound evolved in the past year?
Well, we've been touring off the same record, so I wouldn't say it's changed too much. We've been playing like the same material over this last year, just because we've been on that same album cycle. But we're always we're a band that hopes to always like evolve our sound as we do right, in the future and stuff.
Plans to follow up your album?
There are plans. We're kind of just focused on touring right now. We don't have anything like lined up in terms of like, recording. We're just kind of finishing our cycle out and really hitting the road hard for now.
How do you go about choosing your set for Warped Tour where you have a very short amount of time on stage?
Yeah, it can be hard. I mean, it's always like, it's a balance of like what we think the crowd wants to hear and what we want to play. So I think we did a pretty good job this year of kind of playing a good mixture of stuff. We play one of our older songs, and we kind of have a nice flow to our set where it kind of comes out hot, and then we like play a couple of our favorites, then it stops. We greet the crowd, then we continue in with a fast one and finish out with one of our favorites.
Reaching out to the crowd is important. What role do you see social media having, and what platform do you tend to use the most?
I mean, it has a huge role, and I think it's kind of crazy because like we're a younger band in our career, so like I don't know any different, but I'm sure obviously Warped Tour has so many experienced bands, like Real Big Fish I think was sitting here before, like those guys, their band I've always loved, and they were around before social media, so I'm sure their answer is much different than mine, but it all seems to be really cool to me. Like it seems to be a great way for people to reach a lot of people. I think it plays a pretty big role, to be honest, especially for newer bands now.
Music streaming is definitely one way that people find new music. Would you rather have like success in Spotify streaming or terrestrial radio airplay?
I mean, I think if I had to pick one, probably the radio. I just think that's like that's a classic means of reaching people. Like I know people think it's on its way down, I guess, but I don't know. I just think like mainstream radio is still a really huge deal. It's very cool, reaches a lot of people. Spotify's great, but like I don't know. I guess just it's like you have a choice which station you're listening to, but you're more likely to change what you're listening to on Spotify than a radio station. I feel like you just kind of let it play. At least I do. Yeah. I just kind of let the radio go. Yeah.
With sort of the music industry evolving, do first week album sales mean as much, or are they important to you? I know you're still like kind of in the midst of one album cycle.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't really personally. I don't really care. It's all the music industry is a game. People use data and stuff to influence different things. So I'm sure beyond my knowledge and care, there's reasons that it exists and is important to certain people, but to me, I don't really care.
Tangible CDs aren't something that every band has all the time. So what does success look or feel like for a band in 2018?
That's interesting, and it's funny you say that because like at the end of the night, a lot of time we hand out CDs, like $5 CDs, as people are leaving, and so many people like don't want it because they don't even have anything to remotely play a CD with. So I think it's interesting, but what was your second part of that question? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
No, I forgot. No, what does success look like?
I don't know. I think that varies per person. That definitely, what I mean? Some people it's money, some people it's album sales, some people it's just like the interaction you have with your fans. I think for Grayscale, a lot of us, it's much more centered around, our interaction with our fans, and we try to be super inclusive in the sense of like, we like to just like meet our fans and meet as many as we can and interact at our merch tent and kind of interact like through the set and stuff. So for us it's much more about the fans than anything else, for sure. And just writing music we like, and it means different things to everyone in the band, but for me lyrically, like It's definitely like cathartic. Like it is like a good thing. It's a thing I do to kind of clear my mind for sure.
Kids, young people, young adults tend to gravitate towards music if they're having a bad day. Why do you think that is?
Um, I don't know. I guess it's something that you can kind of connect with a stranger who's relating to you over something without really even meeting them. It kind of takes the social part out of things in terms of like, having to open up with someone. You can just kind of confide in what you're listening to, and hopefully there's other people that feel that way and listen to that same music, and then through that you can connect with people. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of the reason everybody at Warped, listens to music. That's why I started listening to music, and yeah.
What bands or artists do you turn to if you're having a rough day?
Oh man, I think that would vary. That answer would probably be different with me every year of my life. Like I think it changes, but I guess some of my favorite bands are definitely like a lot of the '90s alternative rock bands. Like Third Eye Blind is probably my favorite band. I really like the Goo Goo Dolls. Goo Goo Dolls, like a lot of those '90s alternative rock bands. And I think a lot of it has to do with like that's what I kind of grew up listening to. It's what my dad listened to a lot. So um, that's kind of for me. I kind of listen to that stuff regardless of my mood, good or bad. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's the stuff I kind of always turn to. But there are definitely periods of time, when I was younger, there's different bands. Like growing up, when I started playing music, like, Blink-182, Brand New, bands like that too.
So what's up next for y'all after Warped Tour?
We plan to tour in the fall. It has not been announced yet, so I can't say anything about it. But yeah, just touring, just a lot of touring. Going to just hit the road as hard as we can and play as many shows as we possibly can this year.
We'll be sure to catch Grayscale on tour for the rest of 2018. This is Jackie, thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.